people been throwing shots at me since the first time I went to jail, and it never stopped.
Picture this. You've just signed on with the team of your dreams, and you've won the championship of the year. All that hard work has paid off, and you made it. But what happens when you succeed and the taste of a richer lifestyle blinds you? Here's 15 athletes who made some dumb decisions. Number 15. Evander Holyfield. A prolific and professional boxer, Evander Holyfield had a long and successful career in the sport. Evander Holyfield, much like Mike Tyson, managed to squander a fortune that once exceeded $200 million. Despite earning approximately $230 million in prize money alone during his career, he lost all of his wealth by 2008, when his 109-room Atlanta mansion went into foreclosure. In recent years, the property's been snatched up by Rick Ross. The estate was sprawling, boasting 54,000 square feet on 234 acres, but it cost over $1 million annually to maintain. The mansion was sold at a public auction for $7.5 million after foreclosure, though Holyfield still owed more than double that amount in mortgage debt to the bank. Furthermore, as of January 2013, he owed hundreds of thousands of dollars in back taxes to the IRS. To settle debts and obligations, many of Holyfield's most valuable possessions, including his Olympic bronze medal, 20 pairs of fight gloves, championship rings, belts, and 25 sets of match robes and shorts, have been sold at auction over the years. Evander Holyfield remains engaged in boxing as a promoter and trainer, and despite his age, he has returned to the ring a few times in recent years. In addition to his athletic pursuits, he's renowned for his charitable endeavors and founded the Holyfield Foundation, which aims to furnish education, healthcare, and housing assistance to undeserved families and children.
Especially favoring Holyfield this morning, and it might have been a low blow, right by Holyfield and a left by Holyfield.
Number 14. Ismail. Rocket Ismail. One of the most electrifying players during the 1990s, his speed and playmaking ability put him on the map for the Toronto Argonauts from the Canadian Football League. They offered him an entire $18 million to play for them, averaging $4.55 million per season. Rocket Ismail ended up drafting into the NFL a year later with the Oakland Raiders and made an estimate of $26,900,000 throughout his tenure. He tried various business ventures after his retirement in 2003. A rock and roll themed cafe, a record label named COZ Records, a calligraphy business, and even a souvenir shop. But none of them were successful. Ismail has dumped millions into his ventures with zero success, all but his $250,000 investment with BiteTex mouthguards back in 2009, a product he's quite familiar with. It just goes to show, at first you don't succeed, invest again. Good to know at least one of his attempts succeeded, unlike some athletes on this list. Number 13. Antoine Walker. During his 12 years in the NBA, Antoine Walker has garnered an incredible portfolio. Walker had his most successful years with the Boston Celtics and became a three-time NBA All-Star. He won an NBA championship in 2006 with the Miami Heat, playing with basketball legends like Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. In total, he made $108 million during his career. But Walker faced legal and financial problems throughout his post-basketball life. In 2008, he was arrested and charged with battery after an altercation with his girlfriend. He was ordered to undergo counseling and community service as part of a plea agreement. In 2010, Walker filed for bankruptcy, citing debts scaling over $12 million. The filing was the result of several failed business ventures, including real estate investments and a record label. Throughout many of his troubles, he even had to sell his mom's house, but he didn't let that stop him. He's done charitable work and is employed as a basketball analyst for FS1, Fox Sports 1. He isn't as wealthy as he previously was, but he seems to be in the right state of mind.
Wow! Go get him, Antoine!
Number 12. Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson is widely considered one of the greatest shooting guards in NBA history. One of his groundbreaking achievements was becoming an 11-time NBA All-Star, making him one of the most decorated players in league history. He's kind of a big deal. Despite this, he's had some run-ins with law enforcement throughout his life. In 1997, police discovered illicit substances and a concealed weapon in his car while pulling Iverson over. He was arrested with drug and weapon offenses, but lessened the charges by pleading no contest. In 2002, he was charged with multiple counts of assault, along with driving with a suspended license and making terroristic threats. Despite having $21 million in the bank a year, it was claimed Iverson did not have enough to pay child support. This was speculated on his irresponsible spending habits and the luxuries he placed in priority before his children. It's worth noting that Iverson opened up about his struggles and has spoken publicly about the importance of seeking help and getting treatment for these issues. Number 11. Michael Vick. Michael Vick, a football quarterback who's widely regarded as one of the most talented players in NFL history. Unfortunately, his life choices had severely hindered his full potential. Vick was the first overall draft pick in 2001 and became the first ever NFL quarterback to rush for 1,000 yards back in 2006 in a single season. However, in 2007, Vick was arrested for his involvement in a dogfighting ring and sentenced to 23 months in prison. After serving his sentence, Vick returned to the NFL and signed with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2009 for a $100 million contract. During his comeback season in 2010, he was named the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. He later switched to the New York Jets and Pittsburgh Steelers, playing a total of 13 seasons. In the same year, he was cited debts of over $20 million. He later settled with his creditors and worked to rebuild his personal and professional life. Despite his past legal troubles, Vick has become an advocate for animal rights and has worked to raise awareness about the dangers of dogfighting.
I deeply regret my previous involvement in dogfighting. I'm sorry for what I did to the animals.
Number 10. Lenny Dykstra. Let's go back in time to the bygone era of Lenny Nails Dykstra, a professional outfielder throughout his baseball career. He started with the New York Mets in 1985, establishing himself as a fan favorite. He helped the Mets to a World Series championship in 1986 and was named to the National League All-Star team in 1990 and 1994. He later retired in 1996, making a solid $36 million. After his baseball years, he invested in a car wash chain, a magazine publication called The Players Club, and a stock-picking website. However, Dykstra's career was marred by off-field controversies and legal troubles, eventually filing for bankruptcy for more than $27.2 million in an attempt to upkeep his lavish lifestyle. The former baseball superstar made bad investments and even worse decisions through his retirement. The 2007 Mitchell Report even reported him for illicit use of performance-enhancing substances, as well as other MLB players. Dykstra eventually did jail time and was released, reportedly going for over 800 days without being arrested. Number 9. Mark Brunell. Brunell is a former NFL quarterback who achieved a 3-time Pro Bowl selection in 1996, 1997, and 2000. This is a significant honor in the NFL, only given to the top players at each position in the league. He was a backup quarterback for the New Orleans Saints when they won the Super Bowl 44. His career passing stats aren't anything to scoff at either. He's made 32,072 passing yards, 184 touchdown passes, and a passer rating of 84. Overall, Brunell was a respected player during his career and made over $70 million. That would honestly set anyone up for life, maybe even enough to set their children's children up for life, until Brunell invested in startup food businesses like Whataburger for $9 million in Jacksonville, Florida. Ultimately, they failed and drained Brunell of his funds. He also lost $11 million during the great housing market crash of 2008 when he invested in a company called Champion LLC. Today, he's only worth about $400,000 while having an outstanding debt of $25 million. Live and learn, I suppose. Number 8. Warren Sapp. 2003 Super Bowl champion Warren Sapp is regarded as one of the best defensive tackles in NFL history. He played 9 years for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, leading the team to the NFC Championship game in 1999. In 2003, Sapp played a key role in the Buccaneers' victory in the Super Bowl 37, having 2 tackles, 1 sack, and a critical forced fumble in the game. He did also play 4 years for the Oakland Raiders before officially retiring in 2008 with an impressive career. He was eventually inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. It's been estimated that Sapp earned a sizable $72.6 million during his career with both teams. As much as he loved dishing out sacks on the field, Sapp loved to splurge his money on shopping. Perhaps it's all the tackles he paid for over the years. Eventually, his reckless spending would catch up, and Sapp would have to file for bankruptcy, owing more than $6.7 million to creditors and back child support and alimony. Sapp only had $6.45 million in assets, including 240 pairs of Jordans worth more than $6,000, a watch costing about $2,250, and a $1,200 lionskin rug. He tried to pay off the difference with an NFL analyst job, but was arrested for solicitation reasons and eventually fired. He spends the remainder of his days trying to pay off his debt. Number 7. Curt Schilling. Former Major League Baseball pitcher Curt Schilling made a significant financial mistake in 2012 when he invested $50 million of his own money and $75 million of Rhode Island state funds in his video game development company, 38 Studios. Schilling started the company after retiring from baseball and worked on developing a game called Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning, a role-playing video game crafted by the New York Times best-selling author R.A. Salvatore, Spawn creator Todd McFarlane, and Ken Rolston, lead designer for Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion. Despite being a huge success much later into the future, the investment proved to be a financial disaster, and the company filed for bankruptcy in 2012. Schilling lost all of his personal investment, and Rhode Island taxpayers lost millions of dollars. Schilling faced a lot of criticism for this decision and was accused of misleading investors about the financial health of the company. He was sued by the state of Rhode Island and eventually reached a $2.5 million settlement in 2016. In addition to the financial consequences, Schilling's reputation also took a hit, and he has struggled to find work in baseball media and coaching positions in the years since. But hey, at least his dream game is being played up to this day. Number 6. Vince Young. Vince Young played college football for the University of Texas Longhorns, where he won the national championship in 2005 and was named the Rose Bowl MVP. Young was drafted by the Tennessee Titans as the 3rd overall pick in the 2006 NFL Draft. In his rookie season, he set a number of NFL records and was named the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. He went on to lead the Titans to the playoffs in his 2nd season. However, Young sustained several injuries and benched his career for a good while. He was released by the Titans in 2011 and went on to play for the Philadelphia Eagles, Buffalo Bills, and Green Bay Packers, but never found the same success as before, officially retiring in 2014. Young had poor financial management. Despite earning over $34 million in his career, he filed for bankruptcy in 2014, reportedly spending his money on lavish purchases such as cars, houses, and vacations, as well as supporting a large entourage of friends and family. In addition, Young had invested in several failed business ventures, including a steakhouse and a real estate project. Young's bankruptcy case noted the discovery of a $1.8 million loan he had taken out during his rookie year with the Titans for his birthday party at a Houston hotel. Young later sued his financial advisor for mismanaging his money, but was later dismissed. Despite his struggles, Young is remembered as one of the most dominant college football players of his time and was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2019. Subscriber pick. So before we talk about other athletes who made some very dumb decisions, smash that like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. It's time for today's subscriber pick. One of our subscribers recently sent us this image. Can you guess who it is? Well, I'll give you a clue. This man rose to fame and got instant rich, but burned it all away to buy this 42-inch wheeled truck. Do you think he can still rise up and possibly go back to his high status? This is where you come in. Tell us what happens next. Do you think he's on a downward spiral of never-ending bankruptcy? And what should he do? The answers await. Remember to comment down below with the hashtag subscriberpick and let us know what you think. Now, on to the next topic. Number 5. Dennis Rodman. 5-time NBA champion, two-time Defensive Player of the Year, and two-time NBA All-Star. He's earned an estimated $27 million during his time in the NBA. No one can say Dennis Rodman isn't a legend, but his performance off the court is just as controversial as his basketball skills are undeniable. In 1995, Rodman held a press conference while he was playing for the Detroit Pistons to announce that he was divorcing his wife, Annie, and that he was planning to marry actress Carmen Electra, costing him $10 million in settlement payments and legal fees. Rodman was known for his extravagant spending habits. He once spent $300,000 on a single night in Las Vegas, and he reportedly spent $30 million in just 6 years of playing in the NBA. His financial struggles continued after retirement. In 2012, he was ordered to pay $500,000 in back child support payments. Among other blunders, Rodman was robbed of $27 million by his former financial advisor, Peggy Ann. In recent times, Dennis Rodman has remained active in the public eye, largely being a media personality and the occasional actor. He's also continued his political and diplomatic, yet controversial efforts with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Let's hope it doesn't blow up in his face. Number 4. Boris Becker. Boris Becker was known for his powerful serve and volley style of play. Becker turned pro at the young age of 17 and won his first Grand Slam title at Wimbledon in 1985, garnering himself the youngest men's singles champion in history at the time. He won a total of 6 Grand Slam singles titles and an Olympic gold medal in doubles at the 1992 Barcelona Games with Michael Stich. Boris Becker officially retired from professional tennis in 1999. He became a BBC commentator for tennis coverage and worked as a coach for high-profile players like Novak Djokovic. In 2017, Becker was declared bankrupt after failing to fully pay a long-standing debt of 3.3 million euros. Becker's lawyers argued that the debt would be paid once he was able to remortgage a property in Mallorca, Spain. However, the court declared him bankrupt, and his assets were to be sold off to pay off the debt. It's astonishing to know he's owing this much, considering he's earned over $25 million in prize money, endorsements, and investments made during his career. Nowadays, Becker's been active in philanthropy, working with the likes of the Laureus Sport for Good Foundation and the Elton John AIDS Foundation. Number 3. George Best. Widely considered one of the greatest footballers in the history of the sport, George Best made his first appearance in the pro scene in 1963 with Manchester United at the age of 15. Best played as a winger and was known for his incredible dribbling skills, speed, and agility. He won numerous titles during his career, including the European Cup in 1968. He also won the Ballon d'Or, an award for the best player in Europe, in 1968. He moved from club to club after his time with Manchester United, including the likes of Stockport County, Cork Celtic, Los Angeles Aztecs, and Fulham. In the late 60s, Best reportedly made $150,000 per year, which is around $1 million today, adjusting for inflation. He famously spent his money on lavish parties, expensive cars, and drinking in bars. In the later stages of his career, he was hit with a heavy tax bill, which he struggled to pay off. This led to him having to declare bankruptcy in 1982. Despite making a comeback to football in the United States, his financial troubles continued. He was later imprisoned for 28 days in 1984 for failing to complete community service orders related to a drunk driving charge. Best continued to struggle with alcohol addiction, which led to him being declared bankrupt for a second time in 2006. He died a year later at the age of 59. Number 2. Paul Gascoigne. Paul Gaza Gascoigne is an English footballer who began his professional career in 1984 with Newcastle United and then moved to Tottenham Hotspur in 1988. Gascoigne is widely considered one of the most talented English footballers of his generation, known for his technical skill, vision, and creativity on the field. He was a key player for the England national team and played in the 1990 and 1996 European Championships, as well as the 1990 and 1998 World Cups. Despite his world-renowned football skills and his €20 million fortune, Gascoigne has faced several problems throughout his life. He was charged with assault after attacking a photographer outside a London nightclub in 1995. In 1998, Gascoigne was charged with drunk driving and banned from driving for 3 years, coming from struggling with problems of alcoholism and substance use, a self-feeding process. In the same year, he was declared bankrupt with debts of over 1 million euros. He has also been forced to sell off many of his personal belongings, including his England caps and medals, to pay off debts. Gaza couldn't catch a break as it just kept going. In 2019, it was reported that he was almost 50,000 euros in debt and facing bankruptcy again. Fortunately, his friends and fans rallied around him, able to raise the money to pay off his debts and avoid bankruptcy. Number 1. Mike Tyson. Known for his aggressive style of boxing and devastating knockouts, Mike Tyson quickly rose to prominence. He began his boxing career at the age of 18 and became the youngest boxing heavyweight champion at the age of 20 when he defeated Trevor Berbick back in 1986. Despite his overall success and estimated $430 million total earnings, Tyson has garnered a negative reputation. In 1992, he was convicted for assault and served 3 years in prison. He's faced immense financial issues, spending hundreds of millions of dollars. He filed for bankruptcy in 2003. He suffered with addiction and mental health issues, including battles with alcoholism and depression, he says. His utmost egregious sanction was the second match against Evander Holyfield, his rival in the boxing world. Mike Tyson, battling intense emotions and pressure, let them get the better of him and actually bit off a piece of Holyfield's ear, leading to an instant disqualification and suspension from boxing. However, the legend eventually turned himself around, engaging in various endeavors to help others, like his Mike Tyson Cares Foundation, dedicated to providing children the support they need. The foundation also supports the Muhammad Ali Center, Make-A-Wish Foundation, and the World Boxing Council Pension Fund.
I don't have that ferocity. I'm not an animal anymore.
Does that mean we won't see you fight again?
Yeah.
And that'll be it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. As always, take care of yourself, and don't forget to think about what you're spending your hard-earned money on.